Hi everybody, it's Dee Slater with Create with Dee, and welcome to my weekly Facebook Live. And we are highlighting easel cards all this month of April. And so that's what we're going to be making here tonight. So I'll share with you this kit here, or not the kit, but our project here in just a little bit. It's really windy here in Indiana right now. There's gust of wind, and I think the internet connection's just a little slow. So I'm giving it just a heartbeat for maybe people to get notifications that I'm here and online. Okay, well, if the annual catalog for Stampin' Up! Is available to demonstrators, and if you purchased from me in the last 6 months, one will be coming your way. If you're local and you want to pick yours up, please reach out to me and let me know, and I'll arrange a time for us to get together and I'll give you your catalog. If you're not working with another demonstrator and you do want a catalog, just give me a message and I'll get with you about how you can get your very own annual catalog. Okay, so let's see, I think that was it. All right, so let me go ahead and switch views here. Tonight we're going to be making this easel card here. So it mails in a normal envelope, and when the recipient gets it, they can prop it up like so. It's like a center easel card in the fact that the flaps kind of stay down here. We're going to be doing some cutting and then gluing these down and then doing our easel part on here. All right, so let's go ahead and we'll get making this really cute easel card that I think you guys will have lots and lots of fun with making this. And it's a lot easier than what it looks. All right, so what I'm going to be using today is the designer paper that's called Symbols of Fortune. And it comes with some beautiful Oriental, nod to Oriental stamp sets. It's part of that suite of products. But I wanted to share how you can look at your own stash and still incorporate other flowers and other elements on this. So, so I'm using the Flowers of Friendship stamp set and the Flowers Builder Punch. And that's what I'm going to use for that. Okay, we'll put this aside for now. And we'll talk about the measurements and what we're going to be needing. We're going to start out with a piece of thick basic white cardstock, a traditional cardstock 8.5 by 5.5. And we'll go ahead and fold it in half. So that'll be our card base. We are going to need some layering pieces here. I'm using Calypso Coral. We're going to need 2 pieces that are cut at 2 7/8 by 4 1/8. And then for the side pieces, we're going to need 4 1/8 by 1 1/4. The designer paper, again, I'm using Symbols of Fortune 4 by 1. We're going to need 2 of them. And then 1 piece of the designer paper cut at 2 3/4 by 4. Hi, Rita. Hi, Doreen. Hi, Marge. Thanks for you guys all stopping by. And then I've also got a piece of soft succulent cardstock, and this is cut at 3/4 by 4 1/8. And I did emboss it already on the Retiring Textured or Tasteful Textures, whatever that is, embossing folder. One of my favorite embossing folders ever. I'm so sorry to see that one go away. Of course, it's going to stay in my permanent stash, but you know, we just won't be able to show it because it'll be retiring here pretty soon. All right, so that's all of the pieces, and let's go ahead and we'll cut. I always like showing you guys the main thing first here. That way you're not waiting until 20 minutes into it on how to do it. Boy, I can see that this is just freezing up. I'm sorry again about it freezing. I can't help it. We've got bad storms or wind here. Okay, so believe it or not, I'm actually using my trimmer with you guys here tonight. So what we need to do is we're going to do some cutting so that we can have this unique center here. It's not really intimidating at all. I want everybody to give it a try. So I'm putting my cardstock, my card base in here, and the 5.5 side is up to the, is along the edge of it. And I'm going to put it at 1 1/4. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to trim it down and I'm going to stop at the score line. So you can either start at the top and stop at the score line, but what I tend to like to do is start at the score line. Get this even here. Oops, there we go. And you can see the little gauge there as well as see your score line. Now I think I've got it all flippy flop. You can always line it up to your the lines here on your trimmer so that you know that you're nice and even. So again, I just have it on the score line and cut. So now I made this flap. I'm going to scoot it over and do the same thing on the other side. Here's the 1 inch, 1 1/4. So 1 inch, 1 1/4. Or you could just simply flip your card and do it the other way as well. So should be 4 1/4, or just line it up to your score line and trim. Okay, so when you're all done, you're going to get this kind of fun, flappy looking card base here. All right, so I'm going to get my bone folder and I'm going to get crisp edges. Get it down nice and flat. If you happen not to cut it all the way, and you could so mark it and do it with your scissors too if you wanted to score it first and then cut along the score line. I just kind of saved a step and did it that way. But if you didn't get quite all the way down, just go ahead and take your scissors and just like finish cutting up to there. All right, so the first thing we're going to do is just glue these puppies right on down. I'm going to glue these side flaps. If you wanted to, like some people can't, they do take those off. I kind of like the look of the flap staying there. So I'm just using my liquid glue and put that down. Just make sure that the edges are lining up nicely. And then do it on the other side. Okay. So when you're done, all you have is the center one open. You could measure it and use your scoring tool and score this in half, but really all we need to do is fold it down to the score line. And I kind of finger press it and then get a nice crisp edge. And then I kind of fold it over and get that, kind of hit that seam again. And you've just made your card base. That's all there is to it. Then from here on, it's decorating and making the stopper, like if you happen to watch that of what we did before. Okay, so let's go ahead, kind of put this in the side view so everyone can see where we're going. All right, let's get our side panels down first. And I like this designer paper here, it's all one sheet. Or when I say the pattern is, and I didn't notice when I made my sample that I had cut a piece that didn't have any of the darker green in it. So for us here tonight, I wanted to make sure that I did that. I don't think that's any big deal. Look how pretty that paper is. Let me just bring this in real quickly. This paper has some really unique color combinations. It's got the coral and the evergreen, the evening evergreen. But then the other side is this, the gray and gold and white. So it is a really elegant piece of, or pack of paper. Okay, I'm gonna go ahead and glue these down. So again, I'm layering the designer paper onto the cardstock. This done. I had such a great week with my local card class ladies. It was like old times again. There was so many of us that were able to get together this week and stamp and laugh and have a good time, and it was just so good to see everybody all at once. So my mind's a whirl of what else we might be able to do. I know summer's kind of a bad time to try to get together, but you know, the fall will be here before we know it. I hate to say it, but time marches pretty quickly. So hopefully we have a lot of opportunities to get together. Okay, and we'll put those side panels on here. All right. Take one of the larger calypso coral, and we'll go like this. Every time I kind of glance up at the screen, I see that I'm kind of freezing on and off. So hope this is recording okay or playing okay for you guys. So one of those is going to go into the center like so. And then the other one, we're going to take our designer paper and layer that. So this was the 4 by 2 3/4. And we'll layer this one on. Whoops, I'm going to go and measure this. This looks like it's off slightly. I think I might have cut my designer paper off just a little bit, but I think it'll work. All right. So for the easel cards, what we want to do is we always want to make sure we put adhesive just on the bottom fold here, because otherwise it needs to be like we don't want to glue on the back side so that it stands up. So for this one, what I like to do is, this is going to be the bottom. Make sure I've got, my paper does have orientation, so I want to make sure. So I'm going to put it on the bottom part. And then also I'm going to put a little bit, excuse me, up here at the top. It's going to go all the way to the fold line so I can get fairly close to the fold line. I just want to make sure I have it a good contact up there as well. So now you can stand up, or I'm standing up now, but you can almost close it and kind of make sure you got it where you want it. Let's see if I got it even. I'm going to squish it over just a little bit. So there's our card, but then it's going to pop up. All right, so now we're going to add some more decorating and a sentiment and just, you know, finish up our project here. So again, I'm using the Flowers of Friendship, and I knew that if I stamped this on basic white and then colored it, I would end up having a white outline, and I thought that would look really good since these flowers have a white accent on it. So I'm going to get some scrap paper here of basic white, and we're going to be using some blends today, so you always want to use Memento ink, Tuxedo Black, when you're doing the blends. This type of ink works with the markers. And I'm going to need 1 large and 2 small. For what I'm going to be doing here tonight. All right, get the lid on. I haven't used the blends or colored with you guys in a long time, so I thought we would do that tonight. I'm using the Calypso Coral Combo Stampin' Blends and the crumb cake as well. So I'm just using the dark crumb cake. All right, so what, oh, actually I do need 2. I need 2 and 2. It's a good thing I peeked at my sample here. I even tried to match you guys. I tried to look to see if I had a Calypso coral-ish type of top. But I would just be all coordinated with you guys here. All right, so what we're going to need on the large one is I'm going to do 1 in coral and 1 in crumb cake. I know, crumb cake flour. Who would have thought? But we'll make one together and then I'll have to fuss around and add the other one later on. Okay, goodness. Crazy, crazy woman. All right, so, and this one I didn't even punch right. Oh my good land. Kind of trim it down. You guys will see where this will go on the sample. But what I did to make this stopper, oh gosh, let's get this cleaned up. To make the stopper, I'm going to build it up with dimensionals. So for this one, I'm doing, the orange on the bottom. Then I'm coming in with the crumb cake and offsetting the leaves. And then a regular dimensional hangs out just a little bit, so you can either cut a large one in half, or if you have the mini dimensionals, add a mini dimensional on the bottom. And then we'll put that one on the top. And so we'll make kind of a triple stack flower here. So 2 large and one small will be our stopper. And let's see. And then this is where our little emboss strip goes. So wherever we put our flower is going to be the stopper area. So, if you want it to lean down a little bit, you can go here. If you want it to stand up tall, you can do it there. So just wherever you'd like to have again, the stopping mechanism, which is typically a 3D item, so that, or it really has to be something 3D so that it catches. So, but this is just a little strip of an accent. And we'll put that down. So I wanted something to break up the Calypso coral base that we had there. And then I did on the original one, I popped it up with another dimensional. I just thought with the texture, that might be okay. The card will be a little thick when you mail it, but it'll still fit in the envelope just fine, because we've got a pretty good size embellishment here. And we'll put that one down. It doesn't look horrible when it's all together. Okay, so now for our sentiment. Let me get some of my stuff out of the road. What we're going to use is crumb cake ink, and I'm going to use the sentiment, Life is Better with Friends. Again, that's from the Flowers of Friendship. And I'll go ahead and ink that up and stamp. Get my ink out of the road. And for this, I'm using the rectangle postage stamp or postage punch. And can line that up. And let's see, I think I'll go in this way. And I have it kind of where the U is down towards the bottom, because I'm going to build things up towards the top. Okay. All right, and so for this, what I'm also going to do is with some scrap soft succulent cardstock, I'm using the bow leaf punch, and I'm going to go ahead and punch out 2 images, and I'm just using that leaf image on it. And we'll get our, let's see, got my stamp and seal, and I'm going to put a little bit up here on the upper corner. I'm going to get something that's just going to tack down those leaves. So we can get, oops, let's get it over here on the right side of it. Need a little more on there. So have one, kind of have it up in the corner, one going one direction and one another. And then I'm going to get my dimensionals. You can see that I used some of my scrap that I had stamped on and then didn't use. So punches and everything that's going to hide the back will be a great way to do that. Great way to use that up. I'm going to use 4 dimensionals. It might be a little overkill on this, but I always like to go over where the leaves are or where I have a punch image on the back just to kind of reinforce those. And then we'll spread those out elsewhere. Okay, so now I can close this up and we'll put our main embellishment here. And then you would have your other small one up here in the corner on that. So cute, very cute. All right, and if you wanted to, you could stop right with that. But I thought, well, we need something in the center of our flowers. And what I'm using are the classic matte dots. Again, I thought, you know, we could use rhinestones and everything as well if you wanted to, but I just kind of wanted to keep with the white accents from the designer paper. But then that does just kind of give that a little bit of a center. So you would do it on both the small flower that would be up at the top and the middle. And then I just was going crazy and I thought I might as well keep going with them, with the dots. Because you know what, it's like sometimes I tend to just admire my embellishments instead of using them. And then something else comes along and then I have that and collect those embellishments, but then don't use them. So I'm really trying to be purposeful and enjoy them once I have them. Okay, we have that. And then if you still wanted to keep going, with the designer paper, there are little butterflies that are in that paper. And so I thought, oh my gosh, I have these brushed brass butterflies. Let's go ahead and incorporate a little butterfly action as well. And these small ones are just about as sweet as they can be. And so put one up in that corner and one down here. And then that's our card. So I'm going to bring in the original one here first since it's all finished and it has all of the right number of flowers on it. But this is an easel card that I'm just calling a center easel card. And, you know, you just, again, we just cut the sides for however much we want. The one I did here, it was 1 1/4. I did want to mention that, you know, you can adjust like your width of your of the sides that you want, or even you can do the same layout and cut half, leave half down, and then have one side of it pop up. It's the same concept no matter how you cut the your front of your card. Then you always can make your easel. All right, everybody, that is our second easel card of our series. And I appreciate you guys tuning in live. For those that did, thank you so very much. And I hope, oh, and I wanted to also ask if you want to, I would love to see your easel card. If you happen to make this week or sometime, just in this comment thread here underneath the video, snap a photo and share your easel card that you made. And I'd love to see your version of it. All right, everybody, have a great Thursday night and happy Easter. Have a great night. Happy crafting. Bye-bye.